Rehashing ideas with no new takes. Give us new stuff for genuine sake. Entertaining stuff you need to make. That old Yorkshire Geek with stories to unfold. Keep your eyes wide open and your soul won't grow cold. In the realm of the strange and the fantastical, lost in the dark, but it's light so magical.
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to the latest episode of my series, my top 5 movies from each year since I was born, or whatever. So we're up to 1999. I've got a bit of hair sticking out. Look, I need my hair needs trimming again. We're up to 1999. We're nearly here. 26, only another 26 episodes and we'll be up to date. But anyway, Win Grace is here. Said, I don't think any movies came out in 1999. Oh, it was bereft. It was bereft of big movies, wasn't it? But I chose 5. I may have 1 or 2 honourable mentions. But before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble, and we're live on Twitch. I checked earlier. I've closed all them windows down in case it all gets all silly and we start getting audio dropouts. I'm blaming having too many windows open for me recent problems. But anyway. There is that. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and me books. There they are, Amazon Kindle and paperback books made of paper. What else? Me other channels, me other websites and other things. Become a member and you get early access videos, exclusive videos and stuff like that, and emojis. Blah blah, and super chats and super thanks will be hugely appreciated because things aren't getting any cheaper either these days. Right, is that it? Right, 1999, where we had to party like it was that year according to Prince. But anywho, we were all worried about Y2K. I nearly said Y2J. We were all worried about Y2K, weren't we? At the end of 1999, but ultimately it was fine, which we'll find out next time, won't we, that it was fine. Right, so I've got my top 5 movies, which are not necessarily the best movies of the year. They're just my particular top 5 favourites. They're not in any order. It's just a list. It's not a countdown. And then we've got, I think, 24 honourable mentions, because 1999 was kind of a big year for films. But anyway. So we'll get on with it. I shall bring up my top 5 and share them with you. Right. Now then, where are we? Is it that one? Yeah. Right. Here it goes. There's the first one. The World Is Not Enough, the James Bond flick from that year, starring Pierce Brosnan, directed by Michael Apted. And starring Denise Richards, Sophie Marceau, what's his face from Trainspotting, etc. I bloody forgot his name now. Robert Carlyle. There we go. Robert Carlyle, Robbie Coltrane, Judi Dench. And it's a great film. I really like The World Is Not Enough. It's one of my favourite James Bond films. It kind of gets a bit of a critical pasting. I don't know why. I think mostly for Denise Richards. I think she's fine. She looks like Lara Croft in this film. But she's a nuclear scientist. But anyway, it had a budget of $135 million. Blimey. Remember when Bond films used to cost like next to nothing? Not these days, they don't, do they? But anyway, I do love The World Is Not Enough. And the theme song by Garbage is pretty good as well. So there we go. So that's that one. The World Is Not Enough. I sound just like Shirley Manson. Next up, The Sixth Sense. One of my favourite horror films. Is it a horror film or is it a supernatural thriller, chiller, whatever? I class it as a horror film. M. Night Shyamalan's breakthrough movie. Took 1999 by storm. Slightly, I don't know, was it slightly overshadowed by the Blair Witch Project? Or was it vice versa? I don't know. They both did pretty well. I love The Sixth Sense. I think it's amazing. I watch it regularly, even though I know the ending, the twist ending. This is the film that gave us M. Night Shyamalan's twist endings that he felt that he had to have in all of his films afterwards. But this was the original one. And it is a great film with Bruce Willis and the kid. I'm blanking on names again. I can't read it on there. It'll come to me just as I see his name, obviously. Haley Joel Osment. There we go. Haley Joel Osment. Toni Collette. Obviously, a cameo by M. Night Shyamalan because he thinks he's Alfred Bleeding Hitchcock. And who else is it? Olivia Williams as Bruce Willis's wife. I'll not spoil it for you, even though everybody knows the twist. But you can guess, can't you? But Haley Joel Osment is amazing. He's one of those child actors that, as an adult actor, never quite lived up to his childhood days, did he? Although he just pop up in stuff now and again. He's a big lad now, isn't he? But anyway, and a great musical score from James Newton Howard. It is a great film. It always sets me off at the end. He had a bit of trouble lately, if I remember. Who did? Haley Joel Osment or somebody else? I don't know. So I didn't see your message. I was looking at something else. Who's had a bit of trouble? You'll have to tell me. Oh yes, Haley Joel. Has he? I don't know. Arrested in April, was it? Oh, right, let's have a look then. Let's have a look. Haley Joel Osment in the news. Let's have a look. Bum 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 bum. I don't bloody know. I'll look it up on Wikipedia because I'm curious now. There we go. In April 2025, Osment was arrested at a ski resort in Mammoth Lakes, California, for public intoxication and possession of a controlled substance. It's California. I thought everybody walked about with controlled substances in their pockets. Later confirmed to be cocaine. While under arrest, he was captured on police body cameras using slurs against certain peoples towards his arresting officer, for which he later apologised. Osment was later released. Blah 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 blah. All right, fair enough. So he's doing a Bruce, not Bruce Willis. Sorry, Bruce. He's doing a Mel Gibson, isn't he? He's doing a Mel Gibson. All right. Wingrace just doing a more succinct summary. And Josh Temple's here, harpoon at the ready, to get them ghosts in The Sixth Sense. I do love The Sixth Sense. It is genuinely one of my favourite films of all time. I don't know if it made it in my top 10, though. I'm going to have to redo my top 10, because there's some films that I put in that top 10 that I think I might have to change. But anyway, right, next up, that's The Sixth Sense. Right, next up, the third one, Toy Story 2. One of the greatest sequels of all time, in my opinion. Wasn't originally going to be a theatrical release. It was going to be straight to video. It would have been video back then, wouldn't it? VHS back in 1999. Oh, DVD had come out, hadn't it? Just about. But anywho, Toy Story 2, great sequel, amazing film, directed by John Lasseter, with the voices of Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. It says up there. Tim Allen features twice in this top 5. Curiously, but it is a great story. Woody ends up being kidnapped, not really, but by a toy collector, and the other toys have got to go and rescue him. It is great stuff. I love that film. It is amazing. Miles better than the first one. I love the first one as well. Oh, excuse me. I'm getting emotional. So there we go. Next up, The Matrix. The Matrix. Who'd have thunk The Matrix would have been in my top 5? great film. Great cyberpunk, I suppose you could say, movie from the Wachowski, whatever the hell they call them, brothers at the time. Lawrence Fishburne, um, um, Carrie Ann Moss, and many others. It is great stuff, and it is still as good today as it was back then. I even like the sequels. I even like Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. They're not as good, obviously, as the original, but I still think they were fine films in themselves, and still well worth a look. Not a big fan of the Matrix Resurrection. Not a big fan of that one, but the Matrix itself, great flick with a great score by, can't remember who did the music for it. Don Davis. Not Don S. Davis from Stargate, a different one. But anyway. Yeah, great film. Hugo Weaving as well, of course, in this. Joe Pantoliano, there he is. Doesn't show Hugo Weaving on the poster for some reason. So there we go, The Matrix. That one. And I think we've got one more left. Yes, we have. Galaxy Quest. One of the best Star Trek films ever made. Yeah, it is. It is. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Tony Shalhoub. I forgot his blooming name now. and the other fella. Oh, God's sake. What am I like? Sam Rockwell, that's what I'm thinking of. Sam Rockwell. Daryl Mitchell. Directed by Dean Parisot. Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it Parisot? Don't know. But I've not seen any other films by him, I don't think. Let's have a look. Although I think he's got one out, had a film out recently. Or relatively recently. I think. Or I could be wrong. Where are we? Yes, Bill and Ted Face the Music. He did that, in 2020. That's relatively recently, which I've not seen, obviously. But anyway, yeah, it's a great film about a TV show, a science fiction TV show, much like Star Trek, that were in the 80s. So they're going for the Next Generation vibe. They got cancelled, but the transmissions went out into space as they used to do back then. They still do, but they kind of they're not like raw signals like they used to be. They're all these digital signals now, aren't they? So the aliens, if they want to watch our stuff now, would have to buy a subscription. But they went out and were detected by aliens who thought it were real and basically fashioned their civilization. It is kind of a Star Trek plot, I suppose you could say. Fashioned their civilization after it. What's left of it, we learn. But then they need help from the crew of the ship, which I forgot the bloody name of now. What am I blooming like? I've got it up there, a bloody model of it. Protector, the Protector. Want the crew of the Protector to go and save them from this baddie alien called Ceres, or I don't know. And fun and games abound. It is an amazing film. It is really, really good. And it's funny and all that, but it's kind of a satire on Star Trek and the convention scene, but it's done in a kind of a loving way. It doesn't mock it any more than it needs mocking. But anyway. Wingate says, don't think I've seen that TV poster before. I have. But anyway, so there we go. So that's my top 5. We'll go through it one more time in reverse order. Galaxy Quest, great film. The Matrix, they're all great films. Take the red pill or the blue pill. What happens if you take both? Don't know. Toy Story 2, greatest sequel ever made. Up there with Aliens and Empire Strikes Back. The Sixth Sense, one of my favourite horror films of all time, and The World Is Not Enough, one of my favourite James Bond films. I love that film, I really do. There's a twist in that as well. I'll not spoil the twist in that. Not spoiling it. But so there we go. Right, honourable mention time. So let's get these bits. Oh, I keep doing that. I keep thinking double clicking will stop get it out of full screen, and it doesn't. It Disney, as the Scots say. Right. Our honourable mention. I'm on the wrong bloody screen. Full screen in the wrong screen. Right, here we go for the honourable mentions. All 24 of them. Of course, 1999 was a big year. Prince would attest to that. Right, first up, again, they're not in any order. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Why is that not in the top 5? Because it's not great, is it? To be honest. But it is still a good film, and I do like it. Particularly my own edit of it that I did, where I kind of mostly edited out Jar Jar Binks and a lot of the Roger Rogers and stuff like that. But it is still a fun flick, and the pod race is amazing. The lightsaber battle at the end is, I don't think it's ever been equalled. I think it's great stuff. But it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's The Phantom Menace. Right. Next up. Oh, for Pete's sake, you're going to bloody work. There we go. Next up, The Mummy. Oh, by the way, directed by George Lucas. I forgot to do all the usual stuff, didn't I? And starring Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, and Natalie Portman, and Jake Lloyd, and the usual crew. Next up, The Mummy from Stephen Sommers. I can get rid of some of these windows now. Sorry, excuse me. There we go. The Mummy from Stephen Sommers. Starring Brendan Fraser. I've got enough memory now because I've not got a Wikipedia thing in front of me. Brendan Fraser and others. John Hannah. And her that married Daniel Craig, who I can't remember what her name is. But she's well fit, particularly in this film. Anyway, it's supposed to be, a loose remake of the classic Universal Monsters movie, The Mummy, which starred Boris Karloff. But it's more in the Indiana Jones vein. There are some kind of horrific scenes in it, where the mummy is taking body parts to build himself back up again. But it is mostly, action adventure in the vein of Indiana Jones, and it's really good. And the sequel, The Mummy Returns, unbelievably not good. It's fun, but not good. And the one after that, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, again, not great. They're all watchable though. They're all watchable. But the first one is a great film. Winggrace wants another one. He wants a Mummy 4 with Rachel Weisz. There, that's her name, Rachel Weisz. Winggrace loves Winggrace loves the second movie. I did at the time, but on rewatches I thought it's not that good. But it's a bit, it's a bit too daft, is the second one, but it's still fun. It's still fun. I'm not knocking it. It's just not as good as the first. Right, next up, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. The sequel to Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery. Again, a lot of fun. Mike Myers and Heather Graham doing time travelling stuff again with Dr. Evil and all that stuff. Is this the one where he's got his laser on the moon? Dr. Evil, I think it is, because we're introduced to Mini-Me in this one, aren't we? And Fat Bastard. But anyway, so there we go. A lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and again, do. Oh, that music plays many times, maybe. Next up, Guest House Paradiso. Adrian Edmondson, who is currently in Alien Earth. There he is. Looking exactly the same apart from the glasses. And the late, great Rick Mayall. This is their version. They had a TV series in the UK called Bottom. We've seen them in other stuff in the UK before. There used to be the Dangerous Brothers and the Young Ones and they call it now, Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, etc. Rick Mayall will go on to do stuff like the New Statesman and things like that. But they found their biggest success in the UK was the series Bottom on the BBC, and then they did live shows, the tour with live shows. You can see a lot of them on YouTube. Just look up Bottom Live. You'll be laughing, you will. Lots of hitting each other with frying pans and stuff like that. It is very slapstick stuff, and it's hilarious. And they decided basically just to make a movie based on that, on the characters, but they called them something different. And they run a guest house that's at the edge of a cliff next to a nuclear power station and all that, and it's all terrible stuff. Who's in? That's them two are in. There's other famous people in it. I can't remember who they are now. There's oh God, what they call her? See if I make it out on here. on the on here where Fenella Fielding. Remember her from Carry On Screaming? Who else? Simon Pegg's in it. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Simon Pegg. Yes. I don't think I knew him when I first saw this, but now obviously he's super famous. It is hilarious. Candle in the eye. All right. Stuff like that. Right, next up, Sleepy Hollow. Another one of my well, not another one of mine. We're going to say another one of my favourite horror films, because it is a horror film, is Sleepy Hollow, in my opinion. But my favourite Tim Burton film, I think this is at his best, with Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, and what's his face? I forgot his bloody name now. Never mind. As the Headless Horseman. Was it Miranda Richardson, Michael Gambon, Casper Van Dien, and a man who we shouldn't name, so I won't. Who played the Headless Horseman? Oh, God. Winggrace will remind me. He'll put his initials up. Because he doesn't have it on the flame, because it was a secret. He doesn't have it on the poster. Never mind. Heads will roll. And they do. Many heads roll in this film. It is a great film. A retelling of the Ichabod Crane, Sleepy Hollow, Legend of Sleepy Hollow story. But with lots and lots of gore. Christopher Walken. There we go. I knew he'd give us a clue. Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman. Doesn't have a line in the film, but a very gory kiss of Miranda Richardson, who is really good in this film. Another comedy actress born from, the BBC. She played Queenie in Blackadder 2. Did Miranda Richardson. Queen Elizabeth I. Right, next up, The Blair Witch Project, which I'm married. What am I talking about? Which I watched, mentioned earlier on. What's the matter with me tonight? I don't know. Oh dear. I'm married. Josh says his favourite is Sweeney Todd. Your favourite Tim Burton film is Sweeney Todd. I've never been able to get into it. Never been able to get into Sweeney Todd, unfortunately. But anyway. So here we go, Blair Witch Project. The film that sparked the modern found footage craze. And it's a really, really good film. It was, filmed on a zero, more or less, budget. But it was the marketing that really pushed this film to the stratosphere. They released online marketing, because the early days of the internet, the online marketing, really pushed this film into the forefront of the zeitgeist. And on one of those DVDs that you had to have, along with The Matrix and Blade, they were the 3 DVDs that you had to have, don't they? But it had the documentary on, Curse of the Blair Witch or something like that, and which in a lot of ways were better than the film. But the film itself is good. Like bare bones, following these filmmakers through the woods. They get lost. They're doing a video about a documentary about the legendary Blair Witch of the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. So they didn't find the Jersey Devil, isn't it? But anyway, although not one in New Jersey, was it? I don't know where it was. Anyway, Maryland, it says there. But yeah, great film. It is a really good film with a cool ending. Although you don't see anything, usually imagination. People are just screaming, "What the hell's that?" And you don't see anything. Had a sequel. It's had 2 sequels actually. Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, which I really like, and which will feature in the next episode because it came out in 2000. And one of those, I really like Blair Witch 2 because it's different. It's not a found footage film that went another way. And then it had another sequel that went back to the found footage thing called Blair Witch, which I don't think were very good. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't very good, in my opinion. But anyway, there we go. That's Blair Witch Project. Next up, Virus. This is one of my guilty pleasures. We've done it, haven't we? I think on Friday Night Apart with Fear. Virus. Or at Magnificent Mondays. I don't know. Win Grace like Sydney Sweeney Todd. Oh, imagine Sydney Sweeney in Sweeney Todd. Never mind, because I can't remember names. Anyway, Virus. There we go. Jamie Lee Curtis, William Baldwin, Donald Sutherland. An alien virus comes to Earth in a signal that comes through like the Russian space station. Did they call it Mir? Or is it just whatever? Comes through there, hits a Russian military ship and basically takes over it. And Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Sutherland and all these others are in a salvage crew that find the ship, and then all hell breaks loose, and the alien virus is taking over the machinery, and it's all like body horror and people being mixed up with the machines and all that stuff. A bit like Moontrap from the 80s, which starred Walter Koenig and Bruce Campbell. Great film. But, anyway, so there we go, that's Virus. That's a guilty pleasure. Not a great film, but a lot of fun. I do like it. Another guilty pleasure, Wing Commander. Freddie Prinze Jr. Mr. Buffy, Mr. Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's what he's most famous for, isn't it, these days? Being married to Sarah Michelle Gellar. The lovely Saffron Burrows, you may know from Deep Blue Sea. Matthew Lillard, Scooby-Doo, and Scream. And Checky Carrier, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. But you know his face when you see him. He's been in loads of stuff. Film based on the game series. You mean The Fred? Oh, I played Fred, didn't he, in Scooby-Doo as well, didn't he? Did Freddie Prinze Jr. Along with his wife. Josh Temple says, Wing Commander is a great movie that's underrated, like Space Above and Beyond. It is. I really like Wing Commander. I think it's really a fun flick based on the game series by Chris Roberts, who inserted himself in the film. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character's called Chris. But it is a great film with some great effects and great space battles and stuff like that. Aliens wanting to invade Earth, and they use like black holes. They don't call them that. I forgot what they call them. But essentially black holes or vortexes or whatever to travel interstellar distances. And they've got to stop these aliens getting there to the one that's going to take them to Earth. And it's cool stuff. It is cool stuff. With a great theme by the fellow that did the Stargate theme, David Arnold. Great theme by David Arnold. But anywho, so there we go. That's Wing Commander. Great film. I've never played the games. But I love the film. Next up, Disney's Tarzan. I remember at the time, I haven't seen it actually since it came out. You know, or like since it was available. I think we got it on video or whatever, or DVD. When it came out, I don't think I've ever watched it since, but I remember really enjoying it. Some good songs. Was this the one with the music that was by Elton John? I think it was, wasn't it? But don't ask me who does the voices. The only voice I know from this is Minnie Driver, who plays Jane, I think. But it is a fun flick. Yeah, but that's all I can say about it, because I can't really remember a lot. I just remember I did like it. And Tarzan had dreadlocks in it, didn't he? Next up, American Pie. Now then, I can remember who's in this one, because there's lots of them in there. I have no idea. There's a hole in that pie. I wonder why. Oh, was it Phil Collins? Oh, no, yes. Phil Collins that did Tarzan. It was Elton John did Lion King, didn't he? Yes, whatever. I know it was some British artist. Anyway, American Pie. Who stars in this one? Because I can't bloody remember. Hopefully they're all up here. Jason Biggs, there he is. Jason Biggs as the pie effer. Because he's in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, innit? It's me, I'm the pie effer. In prison, he'll be the pie. Anyway, Chris Klein. I don't know which one of them's Chris Klein. And Natasha Leon. No idea. Tara Reid. There she is. Mina Savari. That's her up there. Is this before American Beauty? Can't remember when American Beauty came out. And Eugene Levy. Who's not on the poster. They're not mentioning him. What's his face? Or is he? Have I not seen his name? Not showing his name, is it? But he's super famous and I forgot his name. What is his name? Anyway, teen comedy, but it is a lot of fun. He gets caught playing nudie prod games with a pie and he can't live it down and all that stuff. And it's all about falling in love and all that, but it is funny and it is a lot. And, Stifler's mom and all that stuff. We all like American Pie. I don't know if I've seen any of the others. I might have seen the second one. I don't know if I've seen any of the others after that. Yes, Willow's in it as well, yes. I can never remember her name. I've just been watching her as well on YouTube. Because she does... For some reason, because I watched one, I keep getting a load of recommendations of Penn and Teller. Fool You and all that. And she hosts some of those, doesn't she? And I can't remember her name. It'll come to me. It'll come to me in the middle of the night. There we go. Alison Hannigan. There we go. Yes, that's her name. Willow from Buffy. I just couldn't remember his name. He's in Evolution as well. Sorry, Evolution. He's got three names. He's one of those with three names. I'm gonna have to look it up now because it'll bother me. Win Grace. I'll type it in before I have a chance. Sean Patrick Harris, maybe. Could be. Not Evolution, the theory. Evolution, the movie. Sean William Scott. There we go. I knew it was Sean, yes. I got the Sean bit right. Who's Sean Patrick Harris then? That's an actor, isn't it? I'm sure I've heard of him from somewhere. I'll have to look him up now. Oh, it's Neil Patrick Harris. Oh, right. So there isn't a Sean. So I'm getting people mixed up. God, what am I like? Sean William Scott. Anyway, there. Anyway, American Pie. A lot of fun. Another film that's a lot of fun is Lake Placid. Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, and Oliver Platt, and Mad Eye Moody. What the hell was his name? Brendan Gleeson as the sheriff. People are disappearing in a lake. The lake's not actually called Lake Placid. I think they call it that Black Lake or something like that. And Lake Placid is like a nickname. But it's also got what's-her-face in, hasn't it? Golden Girls. I'm going to have to look her up now. She lived to be like 1,000,000 years old. She's passed away now, hasn't she? Where Betty White. It's got Betty White in it. There we go. But it is a great film. Is Lake Placid. A great monster movie with some really good effects in it. Wingray says there's a Lake Placid like 2 hours from me. I think this is supposed to be over on your side of America land. I think. But like I said, the lake in the film is actually called Black Lake, something like that. Does it say? Yes, Black Lake. Just nicknamed Lake Placid. But I don't know does it matter in the film, Let's just call it Lake Placid. Why did they have to call it Black Lake? I don't know. But anyway, maybe there were legal reasons. But anyway, people getting killed by a giant crocodile that's turned up in the lake, and there's a twist in the film. The reason why it's there, and many other films were made after this. Directed by Steve Miner, who brought us stuff like some of the Friday the 13th and House and stuff like that. And there are other Lake Placid films, and Anaconda versus Lake Placid, which don't make much sense, does it? But anyway, which I've not seen. I can't remember how many of these I've seen. I think I've seen the second one. I don't know if I've seen any of the others. But the first one is a really top-notch, kind of late 90s glossy monster movie with some good effects in it and some decent gore. And jokes and stuff. Oliver Platt and Brendan Gleeson are great, against each other. You're mental. Great stuff. Anyway, next up, speaking of Saffron Burrows, here she is again, Deep Blue Sea. Couldn't I find a better poster? That's a bit crap, isn't it? But never mind. Which we did recently on Magnificent Mondays. I think it was Magnificent Mondays we did it on. The other shark film, the second best shark film, maybe, out there. Saffron Burrows. What else is in it? I've forgotten. Thomas Jane. My brain's not working tonight, is it? Samuel L. Jackson. I was going to start looking it up. That's really bad. Yes, the poster is, isn't it? Why don't I find a better one? Anyway, never mind. It'll do. Samuel L. Jackson and other people in it getting eaten by genetically engineered mako sharks in a bizarre undersea experimental place. It is a lot of fun, though. It is a good film. It's Deep Blue Sea with good music. Don't ask me who did the music, but it is good music. So there we go. Deep Blue Sea. Next, and Saffron Burrows gets a kit off, but not totally, but nearly totally. Next up, Iron Giant. Hang on. Not blaming you. I'm blaming whoever made it. Yeah. Well, I usually search for large images, so they look nice and crisp, and for some reason that one didn't. It looked fine when I saved it, but obviously I didn't check it, did I? Never mind. Next up, the Iron Giant from Brad Bird, a regular animated movie before Toy Story changed everything. We were still getting regular hand-drawn animated movies from the big studios back then, and this one's a great one. About an alien robot that a kid finds and befriends, and obviously the government want to take him away or whatever, or destroy him, or all that stuff. And if you're not crying at the end with the Superman, because he's voiced by Vin Diesel, then you've no heart. But it is a great film, The Iron Giant. One of the last great traditionally animated movies, maybe. Next up, speaking of superheroes, which we weren't. What wasn't it? Superman. Hang on, Wingrace says. Disney just announced they're restarting their hand-animated movie division after the current failures are done. I'd seen something about that somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if it was just a rumour or what, that they were going to go back to hand-animated. I bet they don't. But it'd be nice if they did. I hope they do. Even a lot of the modern, we still do get hand animated movies, like the Warner Brothers, DC animated movies, like the Supermans and Wonder Woman and all that stuff. They're technically hand animated, but there's still a lot of CG going on in them, isn't there? Even South Park CG now, isn't it? But anyway, next up, Mystery Men. A lot of people say it's one of the greatest superhero films out. And I'm not going to argue. It is a lot of fun. Hank Azaria's the Blue Raja. What's his face? I'm blanking on his name. Ben Stiller. William H. Macy. Greg Kinnear as somebody who's an actual superhero. It was rubbish, but anyway. Just Temple says they need to change back to not promoting the message in their movies and people will like them. Disney never learns. No, they don't. They never learn. They're too entrenched are the people who need to get the message out, aren't they? But hopefully things will change. Hopefully. They need to start making money. They need to start thinking about, we need to start making money instead of just preaching to people. Money's more important. You can preach as much as you want when you're making billions of dollars. But if you're not, if you're destitute on the street, shut your gob. Anyway, Mystery Men. A lot of fun. I think somebody's somebody out like killing the actual superheroes, and they've got these mystery men who are like rubbish superheroes. I've got to find out who it is, and it is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Eddie Izzard, is he the baddie in it? It's a while since I've seen Mystery Men, I must admit. Paul Rubens, there he is. He plays the spleen. Anyway, a lot of fun is Mystery Men. Next up, the 13th Warrior, Antonio Banderas and others. I don't know who else is in this. Another one I haven't seen for a long time, but it's a really good film based on the Michael Crichton book. Or is it Jeffrey Rush that's the bad guy? Right, a while since I've seen it. 13th Warrior, based on the something eaters, Death Eaters. That doesn't sound right. Can't remember, but based on the Michael Crichton book. Directed by John McTiernan, I think that's what that's saying, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, directed by John McTiernan. Antonio Banderas. Who else? Doesn't say. Omar Sharif. He's not in it very long though. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. A Muslim chap. Just travels, is on some travels. He wants to learn about the world. So he goes on a Viking longship with a handful of Vikings back up to Norway or wherever. Where he, goes on in an adventure where the village that he ends up living in is attacked by a tribe of like savage people. I can't remember what they call them now. Eaters of the dead or something like that. And got to fight them off, and it is great swashbuckling, rip-roaring adventure with loads of action and all that stuff. It is a great film, 13th Warrior. It is a great film. Next up, Stir of Echoes, another great film, another one I haven't seen for a really long time. But I do remember watching it and thinking, wow, that's a really good film. I think we're overshadowed this year, 1999, I'm on it by The Sixth Sense, because they are kind of similar-ish. Where Kevin Bacon, he kind of gets visions. I don't think there's ghosts in it, does it? Or does he see ghosts? I can't remember. But he kind of gets visions, I think, of crimes and stuff, people being killed. As I said, it's a while since I've seen it. Speaking of Jurassic Park, as that said there, directed by David Koepp, who wrote Jurassic Park. And it's a really, really good film. Yeah. So that's all I can say about that. It is really, really good. Give it a whirl. I'm going to have to dig it out and give it another watch. It is a long time. Oh, American Beauty. There we go. Mentioned Mira What's-Her-Face in this, didn't we? Kevin Spacey. Did he win an Oscar for this? He might have done. Can't remember. Annette Bening. Basically about midlife crises and stuff like that. Yeah. And... I think a middle-aged man falling in love with a younger woman and the problems that brings about. And it is a good film. I've only seen it once, but I thought I'd better include it because it's an important film. But anyway, and I always thought that the carrier bag you see floating about at the end of the film was Kevin Spacey's ghost. I know it's not, but anyway. Josh says. So sad, I missed the Starship landing. Well, yeah, it sort of landed, yes, all splashed down in the Indian Ocean. It was cool. I honestly didn't think it were going to make it. They're going to have to sort out them tiles, aren't they? They really, but the best one so far, wasn't it? The best one. It launched, did all its stuff, deposited, test payload into space, came back down, landed, blew up. They expected it to. Now they've got to bring them back and catch them, haven't they? And do a full orbit and all that stuff. But anyway, yes, it was great stuff. It was great stuff. But it was a bit too late for me to do a live stream about it. But anyway. Wingray says, I've never literally seen this. Thought it was about murder. You know what? I can't remember. I don't think it's murdered or... Yeah, he does get murdered. Spoilers, Kevin Spacey gets murdered. I think that's at the beginning of the film, though. And he's telling it sort of like about the lead up to the murder. But anyway. And he's not the carrier bag floating about in it. I genuinely thought that. I thought, oh, is the carrier bag representative of his spirit, his playful spirit? I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it does explain what the carrier bag means. Anyways, there we go, American Beauty. Next up, Fight Club. Another film I've only seen once, but everybody seems to like it. And I did enjoy it, but I've never got round to watching it again. I'll not spoil the twist, but Brad Pitt and Edward Norton in a David Fincher film. It's also got Helena Bonham Carter, whose name I couldn't remember earlier on, who were in Sweeney Todd, wasn't she? But yeah, Fight Club. I did enjoy it. As I said, I've only seen it once, but I thought I'd better mention it. It is a good film. You know, because the memes in it. One of the first films to have big memes and all that, wasn't it? There are only 2 rules for Fight Club. The first rule is you don't talk about Fight Club or something like that. Or there's 1 rule. Well, I don't know. You should watch the Chinese edit of this movie. What, Fight Club? Sounds interesting. Or just for the subtitles. Because they get the subtitles hilariously wrong, don't the Chinese? Anywho, next up, Bats. Another guilty pleasure. With Lou Diamond Phillips. I always think of Peter Kay, British comedian, and talks about Lou Diamond Phillips. Dear. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway, yeah, a monster movie that is actually pretty good. Lou Diamond Phillips, Dina Meyer, that it's basically Jaws with bats. Hang on, they changed the ending to make sure the government won. Oh, what, in American Beauty? Oh, right. Oh, do you mean no, we're on about Fight Club, aren't we now? Fight Club. I can't remember how it ended anyway. I know buildings blew up, didn't they? A lot of people said, ooh, 9/11 and all that, before 9/11. But anyway. Bats. Yes, it's upside down because bats hang upside down, don't they? Like I said, basically Jaws with bats. It is a lot of fun. Stupid, but it's fun. With some decent effects. And some rubbish ones as well. But Dina Meyer's always worth watching. I'm a bit of a Dina Meyer simp, or is it Dinah Meyer? I don't know. Next up, House on Haunted Hill. Is this the first of the... It probably isn't. The Dark Castle movies, which were set up to basically remake the films of William Castle, such as House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts. And they're the only ones that they remade. They started doing their own stuff after that. I've mentioned it before. I want to see a Tingler remake. And another one, I can't remember. I'm thinking, I can see the film, but I can't remember the blooming title of it. I think it had Joan Crawford in it. I can't remember, never mind. Thought it was upside down because people got stabbed. Oh, yes, it says stabbed, doesn't it? Yeah. That's the Scream movie, though, isn't it? The movie in the movie. Anyway, House on Haunted Hill, remake of the 1950s classic, another one of my favourite films, House on Haunted Hill, with Vincent Price. But this one's got Geoffrey Rush again, who were also in Mystery Men. Geoffrey Rush, Famke Janssen. Hang on, where is she? Have I got her here? Oh no, it's hang on, where is it? Bear with me. I've got Famke Janssen here. Where's Famke? Where are you, Famke? Have I got rid of it? No, it's there. Look.
Stephen, you poor clueless old geek.
Famke Janssen. That's from this film. Excuse me. And other people who I can't remember. Does it say down here? Ali Larter, and nobody, Peter Gallagher, I've heard of him, and that's it. Other people that you don't care about. It's also got Jeffrey Combs in it as one of the ghosts. They spend a night in an old mental hospital, and Geoffrey Rush will pay them $1 million each if they stay the night, and obviously they all start dying off because of stuff, But it is a lot of fun. Not much like the original. except apart from the people staying in the house for money. But it is fun. And they did a sequel to it called Return to the House on Haunted Hill, which also isn't bad. It isn't bad. That was a straight to DVD thing, though. Anyway, next up, Dogma. Kevin Smith, in probably his most accomplished film, to be honest. His most mainstream film, maybe. A comedy, a religious-ish comedy. Starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Obviously, Kevin Smith appears as I forgot his name. Whatever. Jay and Silent Bob appear in it because it's part of the Viewer Skew-niverse. Alan Rickman, Alanis Morissette, Salma Hayek, Chris Rock. Is it Chris Rock? I always get Chris Rock and the other one mixed up. Is it? Oh no. I forgot. Anyway, never mind. I think Chasing Amy is probably the most mainstream, but this is the most blockbuster. Chasing Amy is a bit boring, though, isn't it? Chasing Amy is for the girls, isn't it, really? Anyway. Yes, this is Chris Rock. Who's the other one? I always get them mixed up. Anyway. Right, so, and her that's in... Men in Black. I can't remember her name. And also Buddy Christ. He's in it as well. And a poop monster. Anyway, so these two play angels that are basically come down to Earth and cause chaos. Judging people and killing people in various horrible ways. Alanis Morissette plays God and all that. Alan Rickman plays... Metatron, the voice of God. Chris Tucker, yes, that's the fella. I always get them two mixed up, I do. And I know they don't look anything alike, but it's because they're both called Chris. I always get the Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, and the other Chris. I always get all them mixed up as well. Must be the Chris part. Anyway, so so these... causing bother, so they've got to sort them out and all that stuff. And it is a really good film. It's probably his best film, his Dogma. But Win Grace prefers Chasing Amy. I like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, to be honest. But anyway, next up, end of another rubbish cover. Never mind. Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of Days. Just emphasis. Being a Christian, I just love the Buddy Christ memes. It's a great image, isn't it? I do not. I prefer this. I mean, hang on. Where are we? There we go. Dogma. Win Grace prefers Dogma. All right. He's lying. He loves Chasing Amy. Because it's about comic books, isn't it? Chasing Amy. I just feel like normal people like Chasing Amy. Well, you're normal, Win Grace. People who don't like Kevin Smith as a guy. A lot of people don't like him these days, do they? He wants to put some weight back on and just hope he doesn't have another heart attack and then he might be funny again. Anywho, next up, Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of Days. Another guilty pleasure, maybe. I don't know. I think it's a Peter Hyams film, this. I always like Peter Hyams films. It is stuff like The Relic, 2010, Capricorn 1, etc. And it is a lot of fun. And it's a turn of the century horror movie, a turn of the millennium horror movie, where Schwarzenegger, totally, miscast as this bloke who's got to stop the devil, who's played by, forgotten his name, Lovejoy. He played Lovejoy on British telly. Got to stop the devil from basically taking over the world. It's got some great effects in it, and it is a really good film. I really like End of Days. But then who would cry at every new film? Yes, Kevin Smith cries at every film, doesn't he? It's worse than me at crying at films. Oh dear. But anyway, there we go, End of Days. A fun flick, and it's certificate 18, it says there. Ultimate battle of good versus evil. And speaking of crying, Arnold Schwarzenegger cries in this. But, Disney investors. Cry at every film. Cry at the money that they're bringing in. Next up, The Green Mile. Speaking of crying in films, if you don't cry at the end of this film, you have no soul. But Tom Hanks, Michael Clarke Duncan, and loads of other people. Does it say down here? There we go. James Cromwell, David Morse. In a Frank Darabont film. He only did... Frank Darabont's only directed 3 movies, hasn't he, I think? And they've all been Stephen King adaptations, haven't they? He did Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, 2 like prison movies, and then he did The Mist, didn't he? All based on Stephen King stories. But anyway, Tom Hanks as a prison guard, Michael Clarke Duncan as a prisoner who's on death row for a murder he didn't commit. And it's in the film, it's spoilers, it's proven he didn't commit the murder because they've got a corrupt governor and all that stuff. And it is a really good film. And if you're not crying by the end of it, as I said, you have no soul. Even he's crying at the end. But there we go, Green Mile. Next up, this is the last one. I thought I'd save this for last because it is a rubbish film, but it is another one of those guilty pleasures where I know it's rubbish and I don't like it. But it's not a patch on the original. It's a remake of the 1963, I think, The Haunting from Robert Wise. This is Jan de Bont film. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Liam Neeson, Owen Wilson and Lily Taylor. The special effects will leave you terrified, it says there. No, they won't. It's a terrible special effects. In the original Haunting, you didn't see anything. And that was the one that you just heard everything, and everything was just suggested. The only thing you really saw was the bendy door at the end of the film. In this, they show you everything in this, and it's rubbish. Best bit, Owen Wilson gets his head taken off by a big thing in a fireplace. Whatever. Anyway, sorry, Josh. Michael Clarke Duncan was a really good friend of my late father-in-law. Oh, cool. Yes, he passed away, didn't he? Very young, Michael Clarke Duncan. He's a true gentle giant. He likes, like he plays in The Green Mile. It was a great actor, Michael Clarke Duncan, wasn't he? In Armageddon, wasn't he? He played Kingpin in Daredevil, and he were good. He were a good Kingpin in Daredevil. I like that Daredevil film. Anywho, so there we go. I think that was the last one. Yes, that was the last one, The Haunting. Rubbish film, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure. The effects are terrible. A lot of CG effects that haven't aged well. They sort of just stuck with what made the original great and just suggested a lot of stuff, or just dialed back the CG a little bit. But anyway, it was also Daredevil again in the MTV Spider-Man show. Oh, right. What, Michael Clarke Duncan was Daredevil? I mean, the voice of him. Are you on about the cartoon? I don't know. Anyway, right, so there we go. That's the honourable mentions. We'll go through them one more time. The 24 of the buggers. The Haunting, Green Mile, End of Days, Dogma, House on Haunted Hill, Bats, Fight Club, American Beauty, Stir of Echoes, The 13th Warrior, Mystery Men, The Iron Giant, Deep Blue Sea, Lake Placid, Kingpin, alright, play Kingpin again. American Pie, nothing to do with Don McLean. I don't think, does he play in this film? Anyway, Disney's Tarzan, Wing Commander, Virus, The Blair Witch Project, Sleepy Hollow, Guest House Paradiso, ha 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 ha! I want to watch that now. I'm just in the mood. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Whatever happened to Heather Graham? I think I've said that before, haven't I? But I can't remember in what context. What have I seen Heather Graham in recently where I might have mentioned her? Because all I can remember her from is this, the Lost in Space movie, and she were in From Hell, wasn't she? So maybe that's... Because I think we've done From Hell, have we? In Friday Night Appointment with Fear, maybe. Can't remember. But she has been in something recently, and I can't remember what. I'm going to look her up now, just out of curiosity. Was she in like a TV thing recently? But anyway. Just filmography. There we go. She has been busy, but no, nothing that stands out to me. Has she been on telly recently? No, again, nothing. She's been busy. She's been busy. I've just not noticed her. Chosen Family from last year. Never heard of it. Anyway, and The Mummy, great film. Sequels not so good unless you win Grace, and he loves The Mummy Returns. So do I, but it is rubbish. But I still love it. And Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which, has its problems, but it's still a good film. I do enjoy it, particularly my own edit. And then we'll go through my top 5 again one last time. If I've still got it here, yes I have. And my top 5 movies, my personal 5 favourite movies of 1999 were The World Is Not Enough. Nothing to do with Denise Richards and Sophie Marceau. Nothing to do with those being in it at all. The World Is Not Enough. The Sixth Sense, one of my favourite horror films of all time. I can watch this film over and over again. I love it. It's like Psycho. Psycho is another one of my favourite films. The original. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I put this up there with Psycho. I genuinely do. It's my favourite. I can watch it any time. Anyway. Toy Story 2. Greatest sequel ever made, maybe. The Matrix. Started off a franchise, which kind of went downhill. But the Animatrix wasn't too bad-ish. But anyway. And Galaxy Quest. They're one of the best Star Trek movies out there that's not Star Trek. So there we go. So that's my top 5 favourite movies of 1999 and my 24 honourable mentions. Right. So, what's 2000 got for us? I haven't got my list. Just a minute. I'll give you clues. I won't tell you. I'll give you clues. If I can find my list. I usually have it ready, don't I? And I forgot. Scroll down through all the other years. Are we there yet? Steady on. There we go. Right, next year, 2000. An animated sci-fi. What for 2000? I don't know, I'll tell you. We've got a bit of sword and sandals. We've got some superhero stuff. We've got some spacey stuff. A bit of horror. What else we got? Yes, there is an animated sci-fi in there. In the honourable mentions, war films, regular sci-fi, a really, really bad one that's like a guilty pleasure, comedy, a Paul Verhoeven film. As I said earlier on, I will tell you this one, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, that's in there. I really like that film. I don't know why it gets the pasting it gets. Yeah, and some Disney stuff, a bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger's in there, and a Chinese film. So there you go. And a couple of films at the bottom that I've only seen once, and I thought I'm gonna watch those again, which I am going to. I've got those to watch again. Not telling you what they are. So there we go. So that's coming up in 2000. Right. So we'll leave it there. So what's coming up next? On Friday. For Friday night, upon with Fear this week. I get these wrong way around. Oh no, I am. Double bill. Sort of. Paranormal Activity 2, but it's my edit, the Toig edit, where I've put them both together because they overlap the timelines in the movies. Starts off in that one, then that one happens, and then finishes off with that one. Even the third one kind of overlaps these as well, but that'd be going a bit far. But I love the Paranormal Activity films, apart from the last one, which was rubbish and had nothing to do with the others. So that's on Friday. That should be fun. And then next Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, we're doing Cocaine Bear from Elizabeth Banks. Ray Liotta's last film, starring somebody famous whose name I'm blanking. And the writing's too small for me to read. Anyway, starring some woman. Loosely based. No, it's not. It's inspired by like a true story, but it's not. It's not. The title is that's the title has the only thing in common with the real events. Anyway, that's next Monday. Right. So all done and dusted. All done and dusted for another year, and then we're up to the new millennium. Although we're technically not, are we? Because 21st century didn't start until 2001, did it? Technically, but it didn't, did it? You know, it's always on the 2000 and all that. Anyway, never mind. Right, so thanks, Wingrace and Josh Temple. Did anybody else pop in? I don't know. I better go over and check on Rumble and make sure no comments on there. I don't think there will be. It very rarely is. No comments on Rumble. So. Right, so all done and dusted. All done and dusted. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there.
That old Yorkshire Geek with stories to unfold.